Hey guys, one of the biggest questions we get from people interested in sterile processing is, what does this career actually look like behind the scenes? What's a day really like if you step into this field? Well, that's exactly what today's video is about. We've got Brandon with us. He's been working as a sterile processing tech for over 20 years, and he's gonna walk you through it all. Now, by the end, you'll know what a typical shift looks like, the kind of work sterile techs do every day, and what this career could offer you if you're thinking about getting into healthcare. All right, Brandon, take it away.
Hey Grant, thanks so much for having me here. I've got so much to share with everyone, and I am super excited for this. This is a day in the life of a sterile processing technician. Let's get started. My day starts super early, usually around 5:45 in the morning. It feels like the whole city's asleep, but I'm already up and running. I've just always been that way, an early riser. I love being up when the world is still quiet. That's actually why I chose the morning shift instead of evenings or nights. It just fits me better. Now, everybody's got their own morning routine. For me, it's pretty simple. I freshen up, brush my teeth, and head straight to the gym. Getting a workout in really wakes me up and gets me in the right mindset. This morning, I'm working on chest. Nothing like a good pump to kick the day off. After the workout, I grab a quick shower, throw on some deodorant, and do a quick fit check just before heading out. Nothing fancy, I like to keep it cool and casual. Next up, I pack my bag, which doesn't take that long. All I really need is my HSPA workbook and my earbuds. Everything else is waiting for me at the hospital. Before I head out, I give this little troublemaker a goodbye and hope the house still looks the same when I get back. All right, time to head over to work. The hospital's only about 10 minutes from my place, so the drive is short. Just enough time to sip on some coffee, put on my favorite music, and clear my head before the shift starts. This little routine helps me start the day relaxed and focused. Now, one thing I want to mention is that sterile processing isn't just in hospitals. You'll find these roles in outpatient centers, physicians' offices, and smaller clinics too. So even if you don't live in a big city, there are still opportunities. That's why I recommend this career. There's steady demand irrespective of where you live. And the cool part is, you don't have to spend years in school or rack up huge tuition bills to get started. With online programs like Preppy, you can learn about sterile processing online and get job ready in as little as 4 to 6 months. That's what makes this career so unique compared to a lot of other healthcare roles. You can break into the field quickly, affordably, and start building experience without putting your life on hold. All right, I'm here. Time to get started. So this is the locker room. First stop of the day. I drop my things off and change into scrubs. They're super comfortable, easy to move in, and since they're cleaned by the hospital laundry, it keeps any outside contamination from ever reaching the department. It's not 7:30 a.m. yet, which is actually good. Getting a little early gives me a chance to wash up, sanitize properly, and settle in before the morning huddle starts. Yep, we have morning huddles too. They're kind of like the team meetings you'd see in a corporate office. It's just our way of lining up the day's priorities. Today it was my turn to lead, and I think it went pretty well. Right after huddle, I checked my assignment for the day. The role changes. Some days I'm in decontamination, other days in sterilization, or even sterile storage. Whatever the assignment is, that's usually where I'll spend most of my shift. Decontamination is where the whole process begins. Every instrument first comes here to be cleaned, flushed, and disinfected before moving forward. It's a role that takes focus and full protective gear because this step sets the standard for everything that follows. Without decon, nothing else in sterile processing can happen. Today, though, I'm on assembly, also known as prep and pack, one of the busiest areas in the department. This is where the instruments arrive after going through decontamination. Before I start building trays, I check the priority list. That tells me which sets are urgent, what came in overnight, and where I need to focus first. From there, it's all about attention to detail. I pick up each instrument and check it carefully to make sure it's spotless and working the way it should. It might look like I'm just staring at a pair of scissors or clamps, but one small issue here can create huge problems in the OR. That's why every piece gets my full focus. Once everything passes inspection, I arrange them into the trays. And if something's missing or damaged, I either swap it out on the spot or flag it to be repaired. The next step is all about locking the tray in and keeping everything protected. First, I place disposable filters with chemical indicators. Those little markings confirm later that the sterilization cycle did its job. Once the filters are in, the instrument tray goes inside, and then I secure the lid. Honestly, it feels a little like packing a suitcase. Everything has to be sealed tight, because if it's not done right, the whole process can fall apart. Those small orange locks on the sides might not look like much, but they're essential to let the OR staff know the contents inside have not been contaminated between sterilization and their use on the patient. Now, not every set goes into a container. Some are wrapped instead. In that case, we use sterilization wrap and seal it with tape. During sterilization, the tape changes color. That's the signal it went through the cycle successfully. Once the trays are sealed and ready, they get loaded onto the cart. Everything that needs sterilization goes together. And from here, it's off to the main event. This is where the instruments go to be fully sterilized for surgery. Once everything's in place, I load the pouches and trays inside. The machine controls the time, pressure, and temperature. Think of it like a giant pressure cooker, but instead of food, it's surgical instruments. The steam inside kills anything that could put a patient at risk. But loading the sterilizer is just one part. I also have to document every cycle in detail. Those records are critical. They prove each load was processed correctly and make sure everything can be tracked for quality and safety. After a stretch like this, the break room starts to feel like the best spot in the whole hospital. I'll check up with my work buddy, crack a few jokes, and then we usually head out to our favorite food spot nearby. Nothing fancy, just good food and a chance to relax. It's our little routine. And honestly, it makes a big difference. Stepping away for a bit helps us to reset, recharge, and come back ready to finish the shift strong. That's one of the perks of this job. You really do get those moments to breathe in between. All right, I'm full. Time to head back in. While the sterilizer runs its cycle, let me show you the digital display. This technology is one of the best parts of the job. It not only makes our work more efficient, but it's also what ensures patient safety. When the trays come out and begin the cooling process, I frequently check their temperature. Everything has to be within a safe temperature range before it can move forward in the process. From there, I move the completed trays to the sterile storage area. Every tray has its own exact spot. In between sterilizer cycles, I also restock sterile pouches and organize the smaller items like timeout bags so they're ready for the next sterile tech. Specialized sets like striker trays for orthopedic surgeries and other loaned instrumentation each have their own designated place in the process too. It may look like simple organizing, but in reality, it saves time and sometimes it even saves lives. And here's the part most people don't think about. Patients will probably never see us, but our work is already in the operating room before the patients even arrive. Every tray that leaves this department is waiting for a surgeon and a patient who's counting on it. That's the impact sterile processing has. We're behind the scenes, but we're part of every single surgery. And just like that, the clock hits 4 and my shift is done. Before I leave, I hand things over to the next team so they know exactly what's ready and what still needs attention. At the end of the day, I leave with a sense of pride, knowing my work is already on its way to helping someone in surgery. Every tray I checked, every instrument I prepared makes a difference in the operating room. That's what keeps me coming back day after day. It's more than just a job. It's knowing that you're part of something bigger and you get to go home proud of the role you played. Once the shift's over, I usually like to unwind a little. Maybe grab a bite or drink with friends or just hang out and relax. It's a nice way to close out the day before getting ready to do it all again tomorrow. All right, guys, that's a wrap on my day as a sterile processing tech. Hopefully, this gave you a real look at what happens behind the scenes. Because honestly, most people never get to see this side of healthcare. Now, talking about the career itself, I've been doing this for over 20 years, and I can honestly say it's been one of the most rewarding choices I've ever made. It's stable, it's meaningful, and it's given me so many opportunities to grow. As a newer sterile tech, you can make close to $50,000 a year. And as you build experience or move into leadership, that number can easily touch 6 figures. And as I said earlier, you don't have to spend years in college or rack up student debt to get started. With online programs like Preppy, you can actually train for this career in as little as 4 to 6 months. The program is completely online, prepares you for the national certification exam, and even gives you a university certificate when you finish. So if anyone asks me where to start, Preppy is the one program I always vouch for. It's the fastest and most affordable way to get your foot in the door. Thanks for hanging out with me today. I hope this inside look into sterile processing gave you a new perspective on the work we do and maybe even inspired you to look at this career differently. Back to you, Grant.
So a big thank you to Brandon for sharing all of that. Guys, I hope this video gave you an insider look at what sterile processing techs do every single day. If you found it helpful, give the video a like and let Brandon know in the comments. He'd love to see your support. Now, before you go, I want to talk about something really important. If you liked what you saw today and you want to become a sterile processing technician, then I'm excited to tell you about something that we've created that could help you get job ready in as little as 4 to 6 months. Introducing the Preppy approach. Now, you heard Brandon vouch for it, and we built Preppy for busy adults who want a faster, smarter way to transition into a new career. It's 100% online, it's self-paced, and the curriculum is laser focused on exactly what you'll need as a sterile processing technician. What about your training? Your training is through a well-known accredited university, and you get a respected university certificate after you complete your training. Our curriculum prepares for the career and that critical CRCST certification exam. We even include a pathway for hands-on experience through an externship opportunity and job assistance services. Now, if this is something that interests you and you'd like to learn more, I've added the link for Preppy's program down below. However, if you want the full breakdown of how to become a sterile processing tech, the requirements, the different training options, and all of the details about Preppy's program as well, I've also linked my in-depth video below where I give you a step-by-step blueprint on how to get job ready for this career. I highly recommend that you check out that video. Again, all the links are shared down below. All right, well, that's all for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you know someone who's thinking about a healthcare career but doesn't want direct patient contact, well, share this with them. It might be exactly what they're looking for. Until next time, take care.